Tariffs are having a real impact right here in the Treasure State, with farmers and ranchers feeling it firsthand. Food systems moving out of the country, prices on food and tools going up, and broken trade relations are just a handful of the issues.
Nobody wants to do business with us, whether it's Japan, Australia, Europe, Paraguay, anybody. They don't want to do business with us because they have no idea what's going to happen.
In the first 3 months of 2025, 259 farms in the United States filed for bankruptcy, exceeding the total number of farm bankruptcies for all of 2024. This marks the highest number of filings since 2021, according to the University of Arkansas System Division of Agriculture.
Rural America, I hope you're watching. Farmers and ranchers, I hope you're watching, because you're being gaslit right out of existence.
What's up, guys? Farmers in rural area, they are so pissed and furious, and of course, as always, they're blaming all this on black people because they refuse to work on their farm and now they're losing everything. So let's watch. I will be back with more commentary. Credit belongs to the one of the videos.
So this guy comes up under my post about the article from the AJC and how rural towns are dying. And he was like, you need to stop the madness. This isn't about race, it's about economics. Black dude. First of all the other 150 comments, they all knew what I meant when I said they have their po' boy clubs in these small towns. That doesn't mean that they don't just want black people there. What it means is they have a small way of thinking. They don't want businesses coming to the area. They don't want to combine any resources with the schools. I grew up in a small town that thought like that, so I know exactly how those people think. They only want their friends having the jobs. They don't want to keep up with times. They're against technology. So turns out a lot of people, regardless of their race, don't want to live around that sort of thinking. It has nothing to do with just black people. They don't want anybody from anywhere moving into these places. And that's why now they're up here scratching their head trying to figure out how they're going to keep their towns from dying, because all the older people are passing away and the young ones don't want to live there, and I don't blame them. And then these big organizations or these warehouses, they come to these small towns and yeah, they offer jobs, but the people that live there still can't afford to live in these same towns that they make good money in. So yes, it is a big clusterfuck when po' boy mentality gets all over everything. That's why those towns are the way they are, mostly in the South, but it's all over the nation.
It doesn't make any good business sense.
A talking point was the impact tariffs have on the mental health of farmers. An expert said it's causing more stress. According to some estimates, farmers have a suicide rate as high as 3 times the national average.
Farmers and ranchers have the highest incident of suicide of any occupation in the nation. That's pretty serious.
It's not just Montana farmers feeling the pressure. Data from Bloomberg shows 173 small farms across the country have filed for bankruptcy since President Trump took office.
Price is going to go up from moving outside the country, and the price is going to go up for increased labor costs, and the price is going to go up because of tariffs. So good high quality food is going to become food of the rich.
I don't understand, MAGA. Why aren't you guys in these fields in Florida? It's super weird. You guys need to get in these fields. This is your dream.
So guys, actually farmers in rural area are so struggling, and of course bankruptcy is on their face, on their door, and now they don't know what to do because they voted against their own interest, because of their hatred, because they thought they're getting the slave back, and now they're finding out. And we're laughing about it because there's no way you feel sorry for this kind of people. There's no way. Let's keep watching.
Dear God, if you've never listened before, Texas is reporting that numerous farms are shutting down. They have no workforce to bring in the harvest. So what does that mean? We're going to have less food available. What does less food mean? Higher prices for what is available. Even the cattle has been left unattended. Now they're gathering people up to make a workforce. Don't even doubt that for a second, that that's what they're working on here. However, there's no people now as we come into fall and everything is ready to be picked and processed. We are in a massive FO moment for the nation. So if you have not stocked up on basic food items that will help you survive, God help you. Because you're going to need it. I don't know what more to say.
In an area of West Virginia that went 70% to Donald Trump, small farmers are starting to struggle due to federal cuts. Now, we have Trey Yates, a declared independent who did not vote for Trump, who owns the Greenbrier Dairy Churning. He lost a contract with the local federally funded food bank for his butter. We have an orchard owner, Natasha Zoe, who is waiting for reimbursement on a federal grant where she built a building and a small cannery to help make syrups and juices in the local area so other farmers can sell these products. And while these two say they didn't vote for Trump, they come from an area where everybody around them fully supports Donald Trump and his policies, but are now being hurt. See, whether it's butter that goes to food banks and schools, or it's syrups and juices from a local orchard, this is money that's not going into the local communities. It's money that's not being spent. Now, Natasha and Trey possibly will lose their businesses and lose their farms, and they'll lose their livelihood because of these cuts. West Virginia is 8th on the list of states that relies heavily on federal funding, behind Louisiana, Alaska, Arizona, South Dakota, Wyoming, Missouri, and Kentucky. Rounding out the top 10 are Mississippi and New Hampshire, and 8 of those 10 states went heavily in favor of Donald Trump, and all 10 of those states are starting to suffer due to DOGE and the Trump administration cutting millions and billions of dollars in federal funding that otherwise would have went to these states. You have to remember, the federal government is the driver of economic policy and money into the local and state governments where it is distributed and spent. And that money's not going out, which means those economies and those locally owned small businesses and small farms, orchards, what have you, are all going to crash. Now, these two individuals say they didn't vote for Trump, but everybody around them did. And it's another example of Trump country is going to pay the hardest prices for Trump policy.
So guys, if I'm being honest, I don't even understand why they should bring black people in this. They should bring the government they voted for, the administration they voted for, the person they supported. He should be the one to blame, because he gave them promise. He didn't keep that. If he's the one actually who promised you to bring black people back on your farm, you should be blaming him. You should ask him to find solution. There's no way you come to just like blame black people just like that because they want you. Let's keep watching.
So y'all remember when it was said that we taking all the black jobs? They really thought that we was gonna be looking for black jobs, y'all. And I woke up this morning, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I saw this guy made a video, and I saved it to my favorite, so you can go look for it. And he said he was pretending to be MAGA on one of those other apps. He said they were doing a live, and the farmers were saying that they thought that the black people would be looking for jobs to work on their farms. Now, you gotta be kidding me. Do they think we really looking for farm work? Do they not know that we are educated and we got degrees?
The USAID is one of the critical programs out there that feeds the world, and they do so by buying a lot of crops and agricultural products from American farmers. Hey guys, my name's Will, your favorite rural campaign and elections expert, and let's talk about it. I'm about to walk in and speak to a group of rural voters here in southwest Missouri, but I wanted to take a minute to film this video because a lot of farmers don't realize how many agricultural products the USAID buys from American farmers to distribute around the world to fight hunger. And when I say hunger, I mean as many as 100 million people going to bed every night with stomach pains and the risk of starvation. While Donald Trump and Elon Musk have tried to paint the USAID as some sort of nefarious organization, just a modicum of research would show you that this isn't the truth. This organization was founded by one of America's greatest presidents, John F. Kennedy, and they've been changing lives and saving lives since the 1960s. And one of the key ways they do that is by buying agricultural products from around the country. They're one of the largest purchasers of row crops like corn and soybeans and sorghum, etc., from some of the reddest states in America. In addition, they buy powdered milk from all over the country to support dairy farmers.
You are correct.
I know.
The owners of the farms are Republican. If they tried to get out there and actually do the job that they employ people for, they couldn't do it.
In fact, I have my own business.
They couldn't do it because they don't have the thought process to do it.
Oh, honey.
Yeah, guys, I really feel like farmers, like rural farmers or rural small business who are going bankrupt, there's no way you have to bring back people, because you should thank them. You should regret not to listening to them. Remember, they warned you. They told you once you voted deportation, you will just suffer from this because you don't have anyone. You voted to deport your own employees who work for you for years, who are willing to do the hard job. Working on the farm, it's not easy. It's not for everyone. And you were paying them however you want, but you didn't appreciate them. You just voted against them just like that with no reason. Wow. So guys, I have one clip I have left. Let's watch. I'll be back.
North Carolina's rural communities are in serious trouble, and their problems are about to get much worse. Now, that is a generalization, and there are exceptions, but it is broadly true. No matter where you live in North Carolina, this problem is going to affect you. Now, if you are not from a rural area, this stuff might seem invisible or abstract to you because it's not in your backyard. And that's okay, that's normal. But it's still important to be aware of what's happening because it is going to affect our entire state. Here in North Carolina, we're a very rural state. About a third of our state's population lives in a rural area. In absolute numbers, North Carolina has the second highest rural population in the country, right behind Texas. Most of our 100 counties here in North Carolina are rural and pretty sparsely populated. The North Carolina Rural Center classifies these 78 counties in green here as rural, and the other 22 as either urban or suburban. People are very clustered around metro areas, and increasingly so. From 2010 to 2020, North Carolina as a whole grew a whole lot, but almost entirely in our big metro areas. Almost every rural county lost population over that decade. Now some rural counties are gaining population again, but almost entirely around metro areas, and the type of growth matters a whole lot too. One common way you can measure growth is by saying how many people are dying versus being born in a given county. And today, in 78 counties around North Carolina, there are more people dying than there are babies being born. The only reason why most of those counties are growing anyway is because people are moving there, mostly from out of state. Florida is the single biggest source of new movers to North Carolina. Everyone thinks it's the Californians or the New Yorkers moving to North Carolina. No, it's people escaping Florida. The big economic engines powering the state are the big metro counties. Just Wake and Mecklenburg counties alone accounted for half of all economic growth in the state over the last decade. There's just much less money circulating in rural communities, where the economies are generally stagnant or shrinking, which means higher poverty. Rural North Carolina relies much more heavily on government assistance than they do in the big cities, whether you look at the food stamp program or getting your health care from Medicare or other parts of the safety net. In 46 counties, almost half, the public school system is the single biggest employer. What that means is that billions of dollars of taxpayer money is generated in big cities and by the federal government and then distributed out to rural communities. That injection of money isn't nice to have for Charlotte or Greensboro, but in Polk or Columbus or Allegheny County, it's an economic lifeline that keeps all the wheels turning. Local stores and restaurants and businesses and hospitals and everything else depends on all that money coming in, which winds up supporting the local tax base too. But massive cuts to food assistance and Medicaid and local infrastructure stuff is going to hit rural North Carolina very hard. And if you think that you are going to be unaffected because you live in Charlotte or Asheville, think again. We're entering a new era of massive cuts to the safety net, which has kept a lot of rural communities alive, and that whole system is about...
So, a serious question. If there are no migrant workers in the carpet farms or small farms, who's picking all of the fruits and vegetables? No one. It's rotting on the ground. Who's at the corporate farms tending to the chickens and tending to the cows and tending to horses? No one. So, wouldn't it be a great guess that there are likely to be a food shortage in the next 3 to 6 months? Now, remember, Texas was the state that was complaining about illegal migrants, yet majority of the raids are in Florida, they're in California, and they're on farms. They're not on gangs. So one would think this is intentional because there is no one put in place to make sure that these fruits and vegetables and animals will be tended to. So one would really wonder, is causing a food shortage intentional? Because that's what's going to happen.
So guys, I don't know what to say about the farmers for this point. Sometimes I feel pity for you, only that. I feel like you caused this, you're responsible for what's happening. You don't blame anyone. I think you don't even need to blame the orange guy. You know why? Because he didn't fool you. He told you what he was going to do. He told you about tariff, right? He told you about deportation, and you know who he was going to deport is the people who work for you, who help you to bring profit in your business, who help you with everything. But of course, you are like, okay, let me vote for this because I will have black people back. And you didn't talk to black people first. You don't know if they're willing to come back. You see them more successful, but I feel like you were too jealous. You want them to come back to work on their feet. You don't want them to keep like winning, being successful. You are like, oh, that would be dream coming true. Maybe it's just maybe, I'm not sure. You are like, when they told you know what, they deport these workers, we bring black people back, and they stop winning and being successful. You're like, oh my god, it's good. I hate to see black person owning their own business if I don't have any. I hate to see black person if they're driving the best car if I don't have any. I hate to see black person being success. That maybe that was your mind, that was what you thought. That's what I think, because you were willing to sacrifice everything to bet on this one. Because if you even didn't feel jealous about black people successful, why would you even just fire or deport your own employee if they are working well? Because you want to replace them with black people, and you don't know if these black people have this experience. You don't see them work there anymore. So why? Normal person will not risk their business just like that. We all know someone who is experienced, right? So if you are willing to give up your experienced workers to replace them with other people just like that, there's a reason behind that. I think they are too jealous with black people successful, and they scared, very scared to see where black people can go and where they can get and what they can do. That's what I think. I don't know what you think. Please let me know what you think. Let's read few comments, but you're welcome to let me know what you think. Of course, the first comment say farmers are blaming black folks instead of corporation is peak America. Both black, second one say both black farmers and white farmers are victim of the same system. I I don't think so. That's why I put this comment here, because I want to make this sure. For I don't think they are victim. I don't think like white farmer who voted for this they are victim, unless there is white farmer who didn't vote for this. Of course, he's or she's victim. But if you voted for this, you are not victim, because he didn't hide anything. He told you what he was going to do. So be careful. Find how billionaires get rich while working people fight each other. Of course, they use you. So you keep fighting, they keep doing whatever they want, but you're too blind to see. And the fourth one said, this isn't confusion, it's manipulation. Politicians feed them lies. Of course, they feed you lies because of your hatred. You know, when you are going to manipulate someone, you know what they want the most, so you just go there. With that one, they don't even think a moment. The last one said, divided and conquer always work until people wake up. Yeah, division will not help you. See how you are suffering. Yeah, guys, I don't know what you think. Let me know what you think in a comment. And I just want to thank you. I saw your super chat. I really appreciate. Thank you for the support. Of course, for those one who want to support the channel, also in my description there is a link where you can buy me coffee. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'll see you next one. Bye.